Hi everyone, my name is Jess and today I have a really special guest. My cousin got a job at Dell and today we are going to find out how her first week went. All right, let's get started. All right, we are here with Sophie Poirier. She has just finished her first week at Dell, and I'm here to have a quick conversation on how that week went. To give you a little background, Sophie is related to me. She is my cousin, and she comes from the hospitality industry. So I'd like to welcome Sophie, if you would give us a quick intro of who you are.
Hi, Jess. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here today. I actually, like you mentioned, I'm from the hospitality industry originally. I made a huge change with working from that field going into tech. It wasn't easy, but it's a decision I'm really excited about.
Awesome. Thanks for that intro. And yeah, like you mentioned, I think a lot of people, I mean, at the start of the pandemic, you actually before the pandemic, you were in the wedding industry, and the wedding industry has just, I mean, completely changed how people are getting married in the last 2 years. So you did have to make that pivot unless you wanted to, I don't know, potentially be unemployed for quite a while. We don't know how long this pandemic is going to go on for. So it's
That's
very,
right.
very interesting that you decided to pivot because of that reason. And it does bring me to my first question for you is, why did you decide to apply into the tech industry, especially Dell Technologies?
Well, a big part of it, of course, was just how amazing the company is, and that I've heard from you multiple times before. I think that was a really big influencer for sure. But just the overall culture is really inviting, and the way that they kind of take you through the training, they make you a part of the family in the sense that they're really there to coach you. They want you to succeed. It's a very comfortable and inviting environment, which I really liked. And I think sometimes in maybe some sales positions or sale companies that can maybe be some insecure for people to
Or
be like,
intimidating?
yeah, maybe a bit intimidating. So just how inviting Dell made it through the whole application process, and now even in my first week of
Wait.
training. Oh,
Application process. You have
oh,
to
God.
you have to tell people that it was not an overnight process. You did not apply and get the job like that. Do you want to talk about that? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we could.
And
Yeah.
how much resilience you had and dedication that you had to get your foot into the door at Dell.
Okay, maybe I'm going a bit too too quick.
No, no.
Okay, okay, where are we
No.
restarting?
Let's keep it going.
Okay. Um, I forget what I was saying now.
That's
Through
fine.
the application. So through
Yeah,
the
so
application.
you applied at Dell. Did you apply for this specific role that you're in now, or how did that application process work?
So it was definitely a bit of a challenge. It wasn't easy to be able to get the position that I have now. It actually took me, I applied for about, I think it was 3 or 4 different positions until I finally, got an amazing offer from them. But it was hard. It was with persistence and just motivation that, I think you helped me a lot in that process as well, just
I
continuing
did,
to
for the
encourage
people
me.
that are watching, I encouraged, but I did not refer, which is not saying anything bad. I just don't refer anybody. I I let her go through that process. I answered some questions for her, but she, crushed those interviews. She did well, very well.
Yeah, it definitely helps having, motivation around you to keep going and to keep trying. And with that persistence, eventually I finally got an offer, and I was lucky enough to be placed in the sales academy.
So you got an offer. All of a sudden, you're walking into the tech industry. Were you nervous before starting your first week?
I was extremely nervous. I think you can probably vouch for the amount of text messages that was sent your way. But I was very nervous, very stressed. Didn't had no idea, what I was kind of getting myself into, in the sense that I've never really, done intensive training or even started a new job virtually.
Right,
So
right.
that was a big one. I had no
I forgot about that.
expectations.
Like
Like,
starting a job virtually in the middle of a pandemic. It's so your training is all virtual.
yeah, the
Like
training is
everything is
all, that's right. Yeah, the training is all virtually done. It's all through Zoom, and it's been really, really awesome so far. I think,
but is it
we've dealt.
hard? Like is there some things that you wish could be in person or like how is that? Like
To
do you
be
get
honest,
tired on video all the time?
that's a pretty good question. I think the training program and just the trainers are so awesome, in the sense that they know when to give us breaks. You're learning so much information, so it can be
Oh
really
yeah.
overwhelming sometimes. But they're really, really great to acknowledge that and to say, hey, you know what? Let's take a break. Take
Yep.
10, 15 minutes, go walk your dog, have a snack, stretch your legs, bio break, whatever you need, right? So
Right.
they are so awesome for that, and it helps. It helps a lot, especially when you're in a new position, learning so much information,
Oh yeah.
and being on Zoom a lot too, right? You're constantly in front of the camera, and
Yeah.
maybe participating.
Smiling.
So yeah.
Question because my training like 10 years ago at Dell was in a classroom and then we could create a bond with people in the class. Is there any like time like how do you create a bond with people in the class or is it too soon to know?
No, that's a great question. Honestly, they do a really great job to put us with the same teams. So there's different activities that we do throughout the training, and they put us
Okay.
in breakout rooms.
Oh,
We have
nice.
really have the opportunity to, connect with maybe people that we wouldn't have the chance in the bigger class. So,
Right.
and there's so many resources for us now to use, like Teams, and everyone is kind of in the same boat, in the sense that
Right.
everyone's excited, everyone has questions, everyone's
Yeah.
nervous. So that makes it easy to bond and have those connections with people.
Right. And I'm sure those people that you are in training right now, you'll end up needing them down the line and writing them for certain questions that you have. So it's kind of neat that you have the training with more people because I think in person you wouldn't have as many as you have now, right?
Totally, yeah,
So
and we talk about that all the time, even in the training sessions, how with doing virtual, with doing Zoom, we have the opportunity to, meet people where we wouldn't necessarily meet in person. And it
right,
also gives, Dell the opportunity to hire a lot more people from different places, and
right.
everything like that, which
Yeah,
is
that's
awesome.
huge because everyone can be working remote. They can find anyone anywhere in Canada, which is awesome. It really has changed the way the hiring process is, that's for sure. Um, speaking of like people are nervous or scared, you told me you were so nervous. Personally, you told me you were so nervous going into your first week. What has been the most surprising thing in that first week that you didn't expect?
I'm so happy you asked this, because I think the most nerve-wracking thing for me was not knowing a lot about technology, right?
Right.
I didn't even know how a computer, like how a computer runs,
Yeah.
right? My brother was always the tech person in my family, right? So I'd learn little bits and stuff from him, but I didn't never really know, like, what's this part of the computer? How does it run? How does it work? How does it all come together?
Right.
And that was one of the first things that we learned this week. And it
Oh, that's
was
great.
so much easier than I thought it actually was, right? I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult and intensive and just confusing and everything. But the way that they kind of, guided us through it and trained us on these things, and
Yep.
just the whole concept of it was so much easier than I thought.
So
So that was a
maybe you're
huge
ready to
relief.
build your own computer. Like give it another 2 to 3 weeks. We could do another video where we build your computer.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that.
Because it is a lot easier. Like people think tech sales has to be extremely technical, but with Dell's training program, you learn so much. I mean, when I got the job, I think I memorized a future shop flyer. I mean, this was 10 years ago. Future Shop doesn't exist anymore in Canada. But I memorized like, oh, components of computer, what are they? And that wasn't even in the interview. Like, I had all the components memorized. No, it didn't work. I think by being yourself, being ambitious, and being motivated to learn is huge in any interview. And I'm so happy that you learned that your first week at Dell. That's exciting.
It was very, very exciting. I was, texting my family and my boyfriend John, being like, "This is so cool! Like,
I know what
I
a
can
hard
build.
drive is now."
Yeah, I know what RAM means. What's memory? Like, I had no idea what that was before.
That's
And
awesome.
the greatest thing is they also make it very inclusive in the
Yeah,
training, where instead of being like, oh, like, this is easy to learn, or why don't you know this, they're very like, hey, like, it's okay that you don't know these basic things, right,
yeah.
about technology or computers or anything for that sense. They make it so inclusive, and that
Well,
makes
like
it easy.
some jobs I've been in, when I didn't know anything and you're learning on the job, it can be really condescending sometimes. Like the way people talk to you, like, oh, you don't know this. But like you said, it's so nice that, they meet you where you are at. They're investing in you to learn, and like the program is unbeatable. That's a lot of the reason why people stay at Dell too, is they've had such
Mhm.
a robust training, good understanding. That's great. Another question that I had of like, besides the surprising thing, what would be the scariest thing? Like, is there
Oh,
anything scary that happened this week?
well, for me personally, I think the scariest things is doing role plays and kind of trying to put yourself in that mindset.
Oh yeah.
When you're doing things virtually, sometimes it can be a bit different too.
Yeah.
But just for me, doing role plays, that's the scariest thing for me,
But
right?
I mean, you're
Um,
in Toastmasters, and for people that don't know Toastmasters, it's a public speaking club around the world, and she's in it. But I guess it's always nerve-wracking to present in front of your peers.
It is, yeah. And that's just, I mean, maybe it's just me, maybe it's a lot of people, but I always
I'm
get
the same.
nervous, and I think sometimes we put a bit too much pressure on ourselves, especially when we're training.
Yeah.
You want to be able to, make mistakes in your training so that way you can learn from them, right? Instead
Yep.
of going and not practicing, not doing those role plays and all of that. Those
I
are
still
so important.
remember doing role plays with a woman from Dell who's gone on to bigger and better things in the US, still at Dell, still doing amazing. And she coached me. She did so many role plays. She listened live to some customer calls. I was so nervous
Wow.
because they take some notes and they help you, but it's always nerve-wracking having someone listen. It's I think I told you, it's like getting your driver's license for the first time and not having someone coaching you beside, and you're just free to drive on the road. It's exactly how it feels when you call customers by yourself.
Mhm.
It's freeing. It's very freeing, and you'll get there. And I think we'll do a video in a month or 3 months, whatever time frame works best, to see like, hey, how are your first 3 months at Dell? Are you still scared to do role playing? Or are you like the role playing champion now?
Well, I'm hoping by that point I'm a champ, but
I'm sure you will be.
knowing me, I'm probably still going to be stressed. But I do love that analogy of like doing your driver's training is much more stressful than actually driving.
Yeah.
And it's so, so true, right? Even the times where they do kind of, ask you to participate or call your name to answer questions or stuff, then you do it and you're like, oh, like it actually wasn't that stressful, right? Than it was. So,
Another analogy I've heard over the pandemic with my husband, who's my coworker upstairs, is I hear him doing trainings and he goes, is it better to sit by like at a pool party? Is it better to sit on the side of the pool and watch everyone have fun because you think the water is too cold? Or jump in the pool, you're going to get cold for maybe like 5, 10 minutes, and then you're going to have a blast. So might as well jump in, feel the cold, because the cold as in the training, the role playing, the uncomfortableness, but then you're going to have a ton of fun with your Dell colleagues and customers. So I
so
love
true.
the analogy. I use it often. It's not
It's a good
mine.
one.
Stole it from him.
It's a good
And
one.
anything else? I mean, we talked a lot about the industry, not knowing much, scary things, surprising things. What are you looking forward to, the next 2 weeks? Or what are you scared of?
Well, I think I think we already kind of talked about the scariest thing for me will always be, role playing or
Yeah.
trying to perfect your learning, in that sense. And but I'm so excited to finally get into a role, finish my training, and really get one-on-one with those customers and put my knowledge to practical use. I'm so excited to do that, right?
It is the
And
best part. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and to also just learn more about my peers and my team and continue to build those bonds. And, in a world where we're not really connected in the sense it's all like virtual, it's not face to face anymore. I think it's pretty cool that I still get to build relationship with people that are, all over North America. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's I mean, it will even grow. I mean, Dell is global. You never know who you're going to meet in different trainings. And one other cool thing is when you do start to talk to customers, you're going to learn so much more about the tech industry. I mean, my customers teach me all the time. I teach them, of course, as well. But it's such a nice relationship to actually get on the phone and talk to customers. It's the best part of sales. It's not
Yeah.
selling to customers. It's just talking about what are they doing, what solutions are they finding, how may I fit in and find a solution for them as well. So I can't wait until you talk to your first customer at Dell. I can't wait to hear what next week is bringing. Is there anything else that we should know? Anyone,
Yeah.
like any message for people that are hesitant to get into the tech industry? Any words of encouragement for them?
Yeah, I think I would just say, don't shy away from it as much as it might be intimidating for whatever reason, as much as you might feel insecure, like when you finally have a role, just keep going, right? Just keep pushing, keep going. Everything happens for a reason. And if you put the effort and the mindset into it, you're going to do fine. And it's a lot more supportive and inviting than you think it is.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing to take away from that is, there's so many resources and they really want you to succeed. They want to teach you, they want you to do well. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about, making that switch from, like I did, from hospitality to tech, or if it's from, whatever industry that you're into, something that you completely don't even know. Don't shy away from taking that opportunity. There's a reason why, you want to do that. So I encourage you to go and do it. Go get it done.
That's amazing. I agree. And like to end this conversation, it's been so fun to just watch this small journey during the pandemic and watch like the ability that you had to pivot. It is amazing. So even though it's scary to role play, you have been able to pivot so much from a completely different industry to the tech industry. Yes, you were scared, but you just took the chance, you jumped in. And I just think it's very brave, very courageous, and I cannot wait to see, what the future brings with you. I'm sure you're going to be my boss one day.
Well, thank
So,
you, Jess.
yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for joining me. And everyone, if you like this video, feel free to give us a thumbs up. We like thumbs, and subscribe because we're almost at that 1,000 subscriber mark. And I will see
Woo.
you next Monday. Sadly, not with Sophie, but she is welcome to come back. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions for her too on how her first week went, and I will let her know that your comments are waiting. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.